Light is one of the most mysterious things in our world. We cannot touch it, we cannot hold it, yet we depend on it every single day. Since the days when our ancestors lived in caves, light has been our protector. Thousands of years later, we still instinctively reach for a light switch before stepping into the dark basement. Because of that, countless myths and legends have been born. From Prometheus to Ra, from Loki to Huitzilopochtli, cultures around the world have given light a supernatural meaning. But what if not every light is meant to guide us? What if sometimes the darkness is safer than the warm glow that is calling to you from a distance? In this episode, we will explore why some lights should never be followed after sunset, which parts of the world have the most creepy stories about phantom lights, where nowadays scientists still investigating unexplained lights today, and how the silent rivers of Quebec can terrify you to the core. Turn off the lights and welcome to the unsafe zone. Hello, my name is Luisa and I'm glad to see you on my channel. In this episode, I want to trace these lights across centuries and continents, from some of the oldest surviving references to Ukrainian folklore to modern disappearances and reports that remain difficult to explain. And later, as daylight disappears, I will take a paddleboard expedition onto a river in Quebec to look for them myself. And before we begin, I want to make one thing clear. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I am actually a very skeptical person myself. But if there is one thing I truly believe, is that our world is far more complex and mysterious than it often seems. Imagine traveling at night before roads were illuminated, before street lights, flashlights, or even reliable maps. Somewhere beyond the path, you notice a small light. It is too low to be a star and too distant to reveal whoever might be carrying it, but it moves. Perhaps there is a house nearby, perhaps another traveler is crossing the field, so you take a few steps towards it. The light moves away. You follow it again, and it retreats again, always remaining at almost the same distance. By the time you understand that there may be no person holding it, the road behind you has disappeared into the darkness. Stories about lights like this exist in cultures separated by oceans and thousands of years. They appear above marshes, beside rivers, among trees, across empty fields and near burial grounds. Sometimes they remain still, sometimes they dance, and in many stories they seem to notice that the person is watching them. Today these phenomena are commonly grouped under names such as ghost lights, spook lights, wandering lights, or will-o'-the-wisps. But these are modern labels placed onto many different traditions. The people who originally told these stories did not necessarily believe that they were all witnessing the same thing. Some believed the lights were the spirits of the dead. Others saw them as deceptive beings carrying lanterns. In certain traditions, the light revealed buried treasure. In others, it deliberately drew travelers to swamps, deep water, or unfamiliar forests. And this may be the oldest idea shared by almost every phantom light legend. The light is never merely observed. The light offers something: a rod, a warning, a treasure, or simply the comforting illusion that someone else is out there in the darkness. Across centuries, people have described these lights in remarkably similar ways. Yet each culture tried to answer the same question differently. What exactly was following them? Or what were they following? To answer that, we have to travel through the folklore of different civilizations. Because long before scientists tried to explain these lights, people had already given them names and stories. If these lights were only mentioned in one country, it would be easy to dismiss them as nothing more than a local folklore. But that's not what we find. The deeper I looked into old legends, the stranger the pattern became. These stories appear almost everywhere. Different continents, different religions, different languages, and yet people kept describing lights that behaved in surprisingly similar ways. Let's start in Europe. Across medieval Europe, mysterious lights wandering through marshes and forests became known by many different names. In England, they were called will-o'-the-wisps or jack-o'-lanterns. In Germany, Irrlichter, literally wandering lights. Elsewhere, they were known as friars' lanterns, hobby lanterns, or simply ghost lights. Very simple. The names changed, but the stories rarely did. A lone traveler notices a small light in the distance. It seems close enough to reach, but every time the traveler walks towards it, it moves just a little farther away. Some stories end with the traveler hopelessly lost. Others end in a swamp, or never end at all. More than 1,000 years ago, Chinese texts also described mysterious lights associated with lonely places and the dead. Historians still debate exactly what those ancient writers meant. Were they describing the same phenomenon? We cannot know for certain, but once again, strange lights appear in the darkness where people least wanted to find them. Then Japan. Here they were known as hitadama, small floating lights believed to be connected with the human soul. Unlike many European stories, these lights were not always trying to lure anyone. They simply appeared drifting silently through graveyards, forests, or quiet country roads. By now, I had a page full of notes. Europe, China, Japan, different cultures, different explanations, yet I kept underlining the same words: floating, silent, night, lonely places, sometimes blue, sometimes white, sometimes dancing, as though they wanted to be noticed. Coincidence? Maybe. But then I found a legend that felt much closer to home. By now, one thing had become clear. Nearly every culture I looked at had its own explanation for mysterious lights. Some believed they were spirits, some believed they were omens, and others warned that they were dangerous tricksters. But one legend stayed with me more than all others, because this one comes from Ukraine. In Ukrainian folklore, there are beings known as potarchata. The name comes from an old word connected with something that was lost. According to the tradition, potarchata are the souls of children who died before they had the chance to truly become the part of the world. Different regions tell the story a bit differently. Some say that potarchata were children who died before baptism. Others simply describe innocent children whose lives ended far too early. And almost every version shares one haunted detail. At night, they appear as tiny, wandering lights. They are said to drift above marshes, along rivers, near lonely roads, or at the edge of forests. What happens next depends on who is telling the story. In some villages, people believed the lights tried to lead travelers away from safe paths. Others believed that they were not malicious at all, only restless, like forever searching for something that they had lost, or perhaps for someone who would finally notice them. I find the difference fascinating. Across Europe, wandering lights often appear as deceivers, but in Ukrainian folklore they are often tragic. The danger does not come from evil, but from sorrow. Of course, today we can explain many lights that people once considered supernatural: marsh gas, bioluminescence, atmospheric effects, human perception in the darkness. Yet something still surprises me. These scientific explanations don't erase the stories. They explain how someone might have seen a strange light, but they don't explain why cultures separated by centuries imagine those lights in such deeply human ways. Perhaps that's because every mysterious light forces us to ask the same question: is someone there? Or are we only seeing what we hope or fear to find in the darkness? And that's where folklore ends and modern reports begin. Reports of unexplained lights continue into the present day. Some have ordinary explanations, others remain surprisingly difficult to classify. I would start with the strongest documented case. In central Norway lies a small valley called Hesdalen. Since at least the early 20th century, local residents have reported strange lights appearing above the valley. Some hover for several minutes. Others move silently across the landscape before disappearing. During the early 1980s, reports became so frequent, sometimes dozens within a single week, that researchers established that became known as Project Hesdalen. Cameras, radar, and other instruments were brought into the valley. Whatever people were seeing, it wasn't dismissed without investigation. Even today, the phenomenon continues to be monitored, and no single explanation has gained universal acceptance. Some researchers favor natural plasma or geophysical processes, while others argue that more data are still needed. Thousands of kilometers away, another place developed a remarkably similar reputation. Near the town of Marfa, Texas, glowing lights have been reported for more over a century. Witnesses describe distant orbs that appear, separate, merge, and vanish across the desert. Unlike Hesdalen, many researchers believe at least some Marfa lights can be explained by atmospheric refraction, bending distant vehicle lights into something far stranger than they really are. Yet not every witness agrees that this explains every report. The debate continues not over whether people see lights, but over what they are actually seeing. Then, Canada. Canada has its own stories of unexplained lights. Some come from remote forests, others from isolated lakes and river valleys where people have reported unusual lights for generations. Most are more like local stories passed between neighbors rather than recorded in scientific journals. And maybe that's exactly why they interest me, because the people telling them usually have nothing to gain. That made me wonder something. If mysterious lights are still being reported today, what would it feel like to spend an evening searching for them myself? So as the sun began to set, I loaded my paddleboard and headed towards one of the Quebec's quiet rivers. Okay guys, I am in Quebec province right now. I am in the area around the city Mont-Tremblant, and I absolutely love this area. Some of you already know that I've been here already a few times and I keep coming back. What's interesting that I personally think that this particular area is very rich in folk stories, and I think that this region is very mysterious in the best way possible. So during this trip, which will be lasting for about a week, I'm going to take you to a real expedition. I'm going to use the paddleboard and I'm going to swim all along a very mysterious river, and I'm going to check if there are any phantom lights in the area. Okay guys, I am in the middle of the river. I have my phone on the tripod. I hope it will not fall into the water. Also, I have my Insta360 Ace Pro. This is what I'm going to use today for filming my YouTube video, and I am going to take you on a little adventure to check if there are any phantom lights in local forests. And I do hope that all my gear will survive today. By the way, I am on a paddleboard right now, literally in the middle of the river. Yeah, that's pretty much new. It's a very new format of YouTube videos, guys. Everything for you. Like I told you that this summer will be different, more dynamic, so here we are. So yeah, let's go. It's twilight. It's around 8-ish in the evening, a little bit later. And yeah, let's have this adventure. It's going to be super mysterious. Okay, and also I just wanted to add that it's pretty much warm outside. It's plus 25, but I feel very cold in the water because water is a little bit cold, a little bit chilly for me, and I am thinking about getting a wetsuit. I think that in the wetsuit I would really enjoy like all the water activities. So maybe my next YouTube video in the water will be in a cool looking professional or half professional wetsuit. We'll see. But I think it will be a really great solution for people like me with a very low blood pressure who are always cold in the water. So yeah, let's go. I'm going against the flow of the river, so it's a little bit hard, but it will be very easy on the way home, right? The water looks like glass, for real. I need to learn how to do paddleboarding in correct way, because I feel like I'm making a lot of mistakes, and also I am basically sitting on a paddleboard. I'm not standing on it, and I'm supposed to like be standing on it, but I can't. I have bad balance. I'm still learning. What was that? Oh my god. I think it was a fish, but I cannot catch a certain moment when fish is splashing the water. I always see just the water splashes. I never see what was the reason of that. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Maybe that was a beaver? Maybe that was a beaver. Kind of a Gensel and Gretel feeling. Not quite Gensel and Gretel, but very similar. This forest doesn't look like German, but still it's dark and mysterious, so yeah. Guys, witchy vibes are here. Gensel and Gretel. Actually, the Brothers Grimm fairy tales are so cool. Well, those were not their fairy tales, they were just gathering folklore, but anyway, their collection was so cool, and it was like really dark, as it's supposed to be, because fairy tales must be lessons. It's not like nice Disney type of story, it's a very dark story that should serve as a lesson. So I adore dark fairy tales. Look at that. What was that in the water? Oh my god. Look at this masterpiece. Guys, I am in a found footage horror movie. No, like for real, look at that. Oh my god, the water is like glass. Look at that forest. I feel like something is watching me from it. Do you hear that bird? I'm telling you. I feel like I am in the cursed forest. Oh shit. I want to go there. I heard rumors about mimicking forest. That sometimes something pretends to be a bird or an animal or a human being in the forest. And I do hope that that beautiful bird that is singing is not a mimic, and it's not something that is watching me right now from among the trees. Okay, so I hope you guys see me very well right now. I had a plan to go to a walk because I see trails on the sides of this forest, and I think that the trails are, I might be mistaken, but this place looks like a wilderness. There's like no cabins around, no camping sites, so I thought that maybe I should like go and maybe check what's in there, like what kind of mysterious things are waiting for me there. But this river looks so creepy right now that I have zero desire to go anywhere near the shore. I'm scared. It's like and bird. Just like I'm just very sensitive right now to that. Like I'm imagining things, and a couple of times I saw like something on the in the corner, like just like from this side or from this side, like kind of, you know, peeking out of here, and it's like kind of impossible. I'm in the middle of the river, okay? So yeah, I'm just very scared and I just want to go home to safety. But yeah, it's been quite a cool adventure. Oh, my GoPro died. Perfect. In case if I go missing, there will be even no footage of me. Yeah. Yeah, there is this like sound of birds that is incredibly melodical, but at this particular moment, I feel like I am in the middle of creepypasta. I haven't seen any lights in the river or in the forest at this moment, but if I would see any, I would probably faint. You see, guys, I'm very brave only when I'm at home. I have made a little break. I am currently on a small island, and my cabin that I'm renting, it's just like right behind it, and I need to swim across the river, so it's just basically maybe 15 minutes of paddling, but across a big river. It's not that creepy here because the river is wider and the shores are not that close to you, but anyway, I start to feel crippling paranoia. As I already told you, I feel like being watched. And you know, I got that thought that while I was filming that part for you on that part of the river that is narrower, the beachy part of the river, I was using a flashlight on my phone, and I was using like my tripod, my selfie stick, a phone with flash, and I was just like on my paddle board, just slowly drifting across the Wicha River with that light. And you know, in some ways I looked like that fish, you know, like I don't know the name of that fish in English, but I know that in Russian it's ryba-udilщик. This is the fish that lives in a very deep waters and lures like and lures food other fishes with the light on it. So I just thought for a second that I look like that fish, just like a pretty girl in the middle of nowhere on a paddleboard with a flashlight. And also, I thought that I am that phantom light for someone. I'm in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of river. My flashlight is glowing and it's very quiet. And if somebody would be like in this forest, for example, and would see my flashlight from a distance, it would be exactly that phantom light. Or maybe, you know, like for other me in the other universe, if such universes exist, I would be exactly that phantom light too. So kind of that what I was thinking about while I was paddling to this island. So yeah, right now I'm going to like paddle all over that place, and I'm going like to turn to the right, and my cabin will be basically in like 10-15 minutes of paddling. So I don't know, but my GoPro died. I still have phone. Maybe I will film something on that part of a river. If not, I will probably film already something in the cabin, or I don't know. that was it. Let's see what is waiting for me behind that turn. I came to Quebec looking for phantom lights. I wanted to understand why people, separated by centuries and continents, kept telling stories about them. I found folklore, I found scientific theories, I found modern witnesses, and I found that the mystery is much more complicated than I expected. I don't know whether phantom lights are folklore, misunderstood natural phenomena, or something else entirely. What I do know is that this world is not that simple as it might seem. Thank you so very much for watching my YouTube video, for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to give me a follow so you don't miss the next adventures. Also, you can leave your feedback in the comments section. As I already asked you in my previous video, you can give me your feedback about the length of the video, about different things that you would love to experiment with, to tweak, etc, etc. Also, maybe you have your own stories that you would love to share about phantom lights. They are also very warmly welcomed in the comments section. And I will see you in the next video.